Alright, budget magic time. Playing some ultra budget mono blue Reservoir in standard. And this is fine. We got reverse engineer. Little lacking in artifacts, but we can find something with glint nest. So this should be alright. Alright. Play an island. Pass the turn. Spire Bluff. Canal. Well, play an island. This might be challenging. I think, at least in game one, control is probably our most challenging matchup. We're gonna, maybe it could be Temur Energy. If it's Temur, okay. Alright, whew. I was worried it was blue-red control, but apparently it's not. So let's Bonesaw. Bonesaw. Play an island. Reverse engineer. This hand's actually looking pretty insane now. Get in with Glint Nest, hit our opponent for 1, and pass the turn. So they probably will have maybe a couple negates in the main deck, but they shouldn't be overloaded on counter spells. Opponent plays a forest, and there's a Long Tusk Cub. Well, play an island. The question is, do we just keep going? So we can Bonesaw, pass. You know what? I think we're just going to Reservoir. I think this is fine. Opponent's tapped out. We don't got to worry about counters. And now it should be pretty hard for our opponent to counteract what we're doing. Not going to bother attacking. Our opponent's life total, pretty meaningless. We're either going to 50 them or we're going to lose. So hitting them to 18. 18 is literally 0 different than 19 in this matchup. One of the upsides of all this is it's a lot less likely for people to have main deck Artifact Hate now, which was semi-common in the past with Dissenter's Deliverance to fight Marvel. Now most of those decks have moved that to the sideboard. Another Long Tusk Cub. Well, I think we're going to take the easy route here. We can just Baral's Expertise, bounce, 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 trigger, play Prism for free, gain some life, draw a card, Bonesaw, gain some life, mismatch Bonesaw, gain some more life, up to 27, and now we just pass and hope that next turn we can potentially win with Paradoxical Outcome. If our opponent just goes shields down to replay both Cubs, oh yeah. So can we get lethal here? I guess it's going to depend on what we hit off the Paradoxical Outcome. Prophetic Prism. Well, play the island. Play Implement. Gain some life. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're missing our Inspiring Statuary to make this free, but it's still pretty good. Pick up everything. And our opponent scoops it up. Can't beat the combo. Alright, so counter spells are our main concern. Temur Energy, likely bringing in more counters from the sideboard. We don't really know for sure exactly how many they have. Most commonly, it's probably 2. Some decks have 2 in the main deck and then another one in the sideboard. It's really hit or miss. So that's the main thing we're playing around. Otherwise, they will probably have Artifact Hate in the sideboard, but we can play around that. So I think that the fact that they don't have good non-creature spells, I think we Dispel as our main counter and then maybe Metallic Rebuke if we can find room. And go down. What? Maybe just Renegade maps. It gives us so many less pieces to combo with. Actually, maybe we just go down. Let's go down 2 Cranes and 2 maps and try it like that. Yeah, I think that's fine. So we get 4 counters, a little less combo stuff, but this hand, I don't know if this hand's good enough. If we get 1 land, we get a 2nd land, Inspiring Statuary. You know what? I think we're going to try it. It's a little slower than we want, but if we draw a land in our first 2 draws, and there's a land, okay, then that hopefully gets us to reverse engineer, plus the extra draw from the Prophetic Prism. Opponent passes. Well, play a land, play Prism, draw Island, and another Prism. Okay. Opponent plays a Sanctum. And, ooh, Nissa. Spicy. Well, that is a clock. And we don't really have a good way of dealing with it once it's on the battlefield. And our opponent gets to start scrying for answers. Leaves one on top. Well, there's a land. I think that means we just Inspiring Statuary and pass the turn. And hopefully this sets us up for good things in the not-too-distant future. No Artifact Disruption. Alright, Bristling Hydra gets some energy. The clock keeps getting faster. Opponent scries. Jeez. We might just be losing to Bristling Hydras and Nissas. We're going to need some good draws here. Renegade Map. Well, play Bone Saw. Reverse Engineer. That wasn't the draw we were looking for. Play Prophetic Prism. Another island. Jeez. Yup, pass the turn. The problem is we're like 2 turns away from being dead. Tune with Ether, gets some energy. Up to 5, plays a mountain. Other creatures we could have bounced, but not Bristling Hydra. Nissa can ultimate, that's 10 damage next turn. Yeah, it's kind of looking like we're just literally dead. See if our opponent pumps the Hydra. They do not. Servant for more energy. Yeah, I think we're dead on board. We draw a paradoxical outcome. No creatures for blocking. Oh, play a land. Man, this feels so bad. Paradoxical outcome X3. I think we have to draw Engulf the Shore. I think that's our only maybe out. Well, that is Engulf the Shore. So it gives us hope. Replay. And I guess we gotta just pass. And then we can Engulf the Shore and also Dispel. If we play anything else, we can't do that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, I guess we can play Prophetic Prism. Yeah, replay Prophetic Prism. Draw a card. Whew, this is going to be close. So we can bounce everything through one counter. There's a Bone Saw. Well, we'll play that too, because we don't want to discard it. Pass the turn. We didn't really draw into any more card draw. Discard Statuary, Island, Island. So what we're hoping for is that our opponent ultimates Nissa to go for lethal, and then we get to bounce everything. And that should buy us like 2 turns. Rogue Refiner for our opponent. Draws a card. Yep, here it comes. Opponent's going for it. Big attack. So we Engulf the Shore. Bounce everything. Opponent can triple pump the Hydra. Yup, pump, pump, pump. So Hydra lives, we take 7 to 9. Everything else gets bounced. And now hopefully we can Brawl's Expertise the Hydra. Replays Rogue Refiner. Alright. 2 energy is not enough. No Ether Hub. No Ether Hub. Alright, opponent passes. Good God, we're staying in it. We get a Brawl's Expertise. So we play the land. Play Prophetic Prism. Draw a card. Ooh, there's Whir for next turn. Now we Brawl's Expertise. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Put a Inspiring Statuary into play. Replay Prophetic Prism. And pass the turn. Opponent actually doesn't have green mana to recast Hydra. Oh, they do, okay. So I can replay their Hydra. Scries with Nissa. We get to gain a big chunk of life this turn, though. Chandra. That's fine. Adds mana. Servant. Okay. Opponent passes. We draw an island. So I think we start by playing the island. Whir of Invention. X4. Are we going to win from here? Man, we might. We get an Aetherflux Reservoir. Now we can 1, 2, 3. Baral's Expertise. Bounce, bounce, bounce. For 2 mana. Gain some life. Replay Prophetic Prism. Gain some more life. Up to 14. Draw a card. Another Statuary. Replay Bonesaw. Up to 18. Replay Bonesaw. Up to 23. Play Renegade Map. Up to 29. Pass the turn. So we don't just win, but now we're up to 29. So we're a ways away from dying. We still have up to spell for an artifact destruction spell. We really need a paradoxical outcome or reverse engineer. One of our big card draw spells is what we really want. Either one of those likely wins us the game. We're out of Baral's Expertises now. Opponent adds some Chandra mana. We're also on the Chandra Ultimate clock. Glorybringer. Nice promo, Glorybringer. So not this turn, but the next turn, our opponent can double Ultimate Planeswalkers. Opponent gets in. Hits us down to 23. Plays a Rogue Refiner. Well, come on, Paradoxical Outcome. For the win. We untap. Prism. Well, Prism's a redraw that gains us life. Play Prism. Draw Island. Play Prism. Draw Paradoxical Outcome. Implement. Play Implement. We're going to sack Implement, I think. Sack Implement. We get Island. Play the Island. Pass the turn. We have 1 turn to draw it. We have 3 left in our deck, along with 3 reverse engineers. So 6 out of 29. I think we also have some random number of redraws. Another implement. We have all of our prisms out. Opponent adds mana. I guess we're not guaranteed to be dead next turn, but it's likely. Here comes Hydra again. I guess we could also draw our other Engulf the Shore as an out. At least a temporary out. Opponent hits us. For 9. Alright, deck. Come on. 1 time. Oh, play Ornithopter. Gain some life. That's not the draw we were looking for. I think we're dead now. Play Inspiring Statuary. Gain some life. Play an Island. Pass the turn. Oh, no. We're going to come up just short. Because Chandra is so much damage. Yeah. I mean, they have 6 cards in hand. They only need to cast maybe 1 to kill us. Another Chandra. Hits us. 10. Yeah. Opponent has lethal. Well, we had draws to just win the game there. We didn't find those draws, but we had them. We had a pretty good percentage of outs. Maybe 1 in 4 to draw an out on that last turn. And we didn't, but we could have. We'll play it out. Maybe there's some... Yeah, opponent's going for it, so that's game. Maybe there's some chance our opponent plays around Engulf the Shore. I guess we can bring in more Engulf the Shores. It's a really weird mixture. Because we need to play around negates, but we also need to not... we also need to deal with the creatures. And I don't know... Maybe we... Well, I mean, we can counter Bristling Hydras and stuff, too. Maybe we go down a Metallic Rebuke for an Engulf the Shore. I don't think we can cut too many more combo pieces and still combo off, so let's try it like that. Up to 3 Engulf the Shores. We're on the play. 0 lander. Oh, boy. Alright. Lots of payoffs. No artifacts. One of the downsides of sideboarding out stuff for counters. We'll keep. Baral's Expertise gotta go to the bottom. We gotta find artifacts. That is... We gotta find artifacts to support these reverse engineers. If we can get to those in a somewhat timely manner, we might be alright. Opponent passes. We draw an island. Play Glint Nest. Come on. Alright. I guess we just take Statuary, even though it's more expensive. Pass the turn. We are working towards our reverse engineers. Opponent plays Spire Bluff. And Servant. Getting the ramp on. We'll play an island. Play Inspiring Statuary. Pass the turn. So next turn, if we draw a 0-cost artifact or a land, we can reverse engineer. See what our opponent has if it's Planeswalker time. Another Servant. No attacks. We'll play Bonesaw. Play Implement. And I think we just pass and attempt a Paradoxical Outcome and have Reverse Engineer as the backup if it fails. Not a great outcome. Only drawing 3, most likely. There's Chandra. Adds mana with Chandra. Okay. And a Whirler Virtuoso. Well, let's do some drawing. Pick up Bonesaw, implement Glintnest Crane. So we draw 3, bounce some stuff we wanted to bounce. There's Metallic Rebuke. Well, replay Bonesaw. Play the Island. Play Implement. Is there a way we can Baral's Expertise and still leave up a counter? Seems unlikely. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 1, 2, 3. Well, play Implement. Play Baral's Expertise. Bouncing all of our opponent's creatures. Opponent makes a Thopter, sure. This also puts our opponent way back on mana. Put Glintnest into play. Whiff. Yikes! We would have liked to hit an artifact there. Pass the turn. Opponent adds mana. All in on the adding mana plan. Replays Whirler Virtuoso. And then probably Servant of the Conduit. Nope. Alright. Now what do we draw? Implement. Opponent's leaving up counter mana pretty clearly. I think we start by attacking Chandra. Opponent blocks. Well, let's reverse engineer. Play an island. Ooh, there's Reservoir for next turn. Play Bonesaw. Play Implement. And pass the turn. So we have a counter, but we have to somehow do this through Chandra Ultimate. Opponent adds mana. Yikes. This is super sketchy. Opponent plays Servant. 3 mana left. Servant. Up to 9 energy. Opponent gets in. Down to 18. What do we draw? Renegade Map. This is not good. The problem is we can't Reservoir and then do anything. It's not even worth attacking Chandra. So we reverse engineer. Draw some cards. And I think we're just dead. We didn't draw any way to deal with creatures. Play Bonesaw. Play Renegade Map. Play Renegade Map. Pass the turn. I can't imagine we survive this Chandra Ultimate long enough. Opponent Ultimates. How many spells can our opponent cast? Long Tusk Cub. Spell 1. Down to 13. We were so close. Just didn't find enough interaction. Opponent needs 2 more spells. Long Tusk Cub. Down to 8. Actually, they need 3 more spells. Oh my goodness. Well, here's our chance. Opponent representing a counter. What do? We can try to Paradoxical Outcome. If it gets countered, we lose. We can untap Paradoxical Outcome. Metallic Rebuke. Hope we draw a land. I think that's our out. We have 1, 2, 3 free spells, which is not a lot. I think it's still what we got to do. So we untap. We draw Engulf the Shore. Doesn't matter now because our opponent has Chandra Emblem. So we start with Paradoxical Outcome. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Pick up everything. Opponent lets it go. Hopefully we drew more free stuff. We have a Dispel now. So play the land. Will this be enough? play a Bone Saw, play Reservoir. Opponent goes counter, and I don't know if we can gain enough from here. We drop to 3. We Metallic Rebuke, get our Reservoir, and we just don't have that much free stuff. Play Bone Saw, up to 8. Play Ornithopter, up to 14. Play Bone Saw, up to 21. Play Bone Saw, up to 29. And, I mean, that's all we can do. That's all the stuff we have to cast. So now we pass and hope. Hope, hope, hope. We will discard a Dispel and Engulf the Shore. Inspiring Statuary, Island, and I guess Dispel. I mean, this is it. They either kill us or they don't. Attune is probably one of their best cards. 5 damage for 1 mana. 1 mana Lightning Axe. Well, we got back in the game. Can we survive this turn? How much can they cast? If we untap, we win. Oh, I mean, it's very, very likely that we win. Plays a land. 6 mana, 3 cards in hand. Plus a board full of creatures. We can potentially chump 1 with Ornithopter. Are we really going to get there? Are we pulling this off? Opponent, tapping. That Attune was huge. Our opponent obviously top decked that because they would have killed us last turn if they had it. What do you got, opponent? What do you got? Through a Chandra Emblem? Mono blue Ultra President Reservoir? Is it happening? Our opponent looks uncertain. Like they don't necessarily have the win. Oh my goodness. Another Long Tusk. 2 cards in hand. Do we die if our opponent... We drop to 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm not even sure... Even if they had 2 1-mana spells, I'm not even sure that kills us. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Here comes a big attack. Well, we're going to block. We don't really need this Ornithopter. Opponent's going to pump. And pump. And pump. And pump. Down to 9. If they can cast 2 spells with 3 mana, we're dead. Appetite. Killing our Reservoir. That complicates things. Down to 4. Opponent's up to 22. We draw a Whir. Well, step 1, Whir. X4. Get our Reservoir. Play Implement. Gain some life. Play Glintnest Crane. We gotta hit some 0 mana stuff. Crane. Prism. Play Glintnest Crane. I wonder why our opponent tanked so long when they obviously had that. And we whiff, and that's the game. And we ended up 1 mana short. We'll pass the turn, but our opponent didn't play anything last turn, so we are definitely dead. Didn't play a land last turn. Yep, they have a spell, and that's game. Wow. Wow! Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, take a second and click that like button down below. It's a great way to help support the channel for free. And you can find the next video in the playlist right here.